Hello my friends, in this video we're going to be reacting, listening, and dissecting one of opera's most famous arias, and that is the Queen of the Night aria. The full title is Die Hölle Rache kocht in meinem Herzen, Hell's vengeance boils in my heart. Commonly abbreviated to Die Hölle Rache, is an aria sung by the Queen of the Night, a coloratura soprano part in the second act of Mozart's opera The Magic Flute, also known as Die Zauberflöte. It depicts a fit of vengeful rage in which the Queen of the Night places a knife into the hand of her daughter Pamina and commands her to assassinate Zarastro, the queen's rival, else she will disown and curse Pamina. Long story short, she's not the greatest person in the world. Of course, when we talk about Mozart, we have to talk about the mystique and the intrigue around his music. Did he write this for someone he wasn't too keen on? Did he write this for a family member he didn't like, so he made it exceedingly difficult? We'll never know. If you have any credible sources, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know if this is true or not. Let's dive into the video. This is the Queen of the Night aria performed by the great Diana Damrau at the Royal Opera House. What an intense, high-energy opening for this aria, and I think it sets us up well. This character is not asking her to kill Zarastro. She is commanding her, and the opening of this aria, this opening phrase, is commanding. There's no question about it. One thing Damrau does particularly well in this role is uses the consonants to add to her authority, to add to her commanding tone. So not only is the melody and the singing of it very intense, but she's using the consonants to her advantage, and that is a big deal. For example, when she sings the word Tod, the German word for death, there's so much energy in the consonant, both the T and the D, that there's no question that what she's asking is a little bit sinister and very, very intense. Okay, so there's no question here that this is a queen. This isn't just your everyday villager. This isn't your everyday, like, average person. This is a queen, and you can tell in her posture, even in this final frame, that is a queen. Look at the posture. Shoulders are up. She's got this incredible, I don't even know what that is on her head, but she's dressed like this regal character, but everything is all black, so that we get that evil, sort of sinister vibe from her. Going back a few seconds to when she presents the knife to Pamina, she does it in a very sinister way. It makes us question, what's the relationship like between these two characters? You know, it's mother and daughter, but it's clearly not a happy sunshine and daisies kind of relationship. When she presents the knife to Pamina, she does it in a very slow, very smooth way. And we might be thinking too much into this, but I think that she used that intentionally to help with her legato singing. And we have to do this in opera. There are things we have to do when we're on stage to help with our singing, and she does this all the time. We'll find out more as we go along. So there it is. That is the big, dramatic, very famous moment in this aria. When we're teaching singing, we often look at this moment. When we're talking about how fast the vocal folds vibrate per second, we always talk about the infamous high F in the Queen of the Night aria. With this note in particular, the vocal folds are vibrating hundreds and hundreds of times per second, and nothing else in the human body can move that fast. This is a great example of breath support and being able to support your own voice. I want you to watch her when she sings. I want you to see how active her body is and how much she's working to get those notes. This really reinforces the idea that singing is a full body physical event. You can see how hard she's working, but it's from the neck down. She's using her ribs, she's using her diaphragm, her abdominals, her lungs, all of that wonderful support system that she has, and it's taking any pressure off the voice. She sings the high F, and then she sings it again, but this time she's moving towards Pamina. We can see in Pamina's face how intimidating this is, and I think Mozart did a fantastic job of capturing intimidation in one aria. Also, I want to give a shout out to the hair, the makeup, the costume people, the amazing work they did on this. I mean, she's so intimidating looking, but you can see the whites of her eyes now, which somehow makes her even more terrifying and more creepy. See, we can see the whites of her eyes through all that dark makeup. It reminds me of Voldemort, how he had sort of normal human eyes, and that actually made him scarier in some way. They could have given him snake eyes, but they gave him human eyes, and that was even creepier. What I also like about this is that she has that high hairline, and you can see one of the three ladies, there's two more, they also have that high hairline. That sort of makes it seem like, yes, they're associated with her, and they're also evil, but they're maybe not quite as bad or quite as powerful. We've switched up the configuration a little bit. The queen has now gone behind this piece of furniture and she was followed by her servants, and we see Pamina on the floor. I think it's important to know what she's saying in this moment. She's saying, disowned, you will be forever. Abandoned, you will be forever. Destroyed forever, all the bonds of nature. So she's saying, I will cast you aside. You are going to be gone from my life if you don't do this, if you don't kill this person. I think at this point in her life, Pamina is probably used to her mother being angry, being scary, being vengeful, but now that she's threatening to take away her whole life, any luxury she's lived, any happiness she's had will be torn from her. And I think that's what's leading Pamina to sort of collapse to the floor. I can't believe this is happening to me. One thing I want to point out is that the queen is very much higher than Pamina right now. We see Pamina on the floor. She's really struggling, and the queen is sort of commanding down at her. And that is completely intentional. We want to see those different levels. Another important thing is opera is all about lines, all about sight lines. We have to keep in mind, Damrau needs to see the conductor. This is not an easy aria by any means. She might know it really well. She's done this role many times, but she needs to be able to see the conductor. Not only that, but she has to project her sound to the back of the hall. We always have to be thinking as opera singers that we're singing to the very back, so those old ladies who can't really hear in the back can hear you perfectly well. So when you're actually rehearsing and staging music like this, if you're staging an opera, there's always a give and take between the music team and the creative team, because the conductor always wants the sound to be coming out, and sometimes the director might want you to do something like turn up stage or turn to the wings, and that doesn't always work musically, so there has to be some compromise there. I feel like there's a moment in that passage when the music gets a little bit quieter, a little bit different, and the Queen of the Night is trying to appeal to her motherly nature to try and convince Pamina. But it doesn't last very long simply because she has no motherly nature in her. There's no loving bone in her body. Okay, I wanted to pause it on this frame right here. There's a lot vocally that she's doing to make these notes really pop. Of course, we can see her front teeth. We can see a little bit of that smile, a bit of that snarl happening. And what that's doing, it's brightening up the vowel. It's allowing her to keep it really, really in tune. Because if you don't get the tuning right on that perfect octave, it's going to sound horrible. Bum, 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 bum. Ooh, it would be horrible. I just want to bring attention to that rolled R. What's the word? Rach Goethe. Rach. She did like half a second of rolled R. If that doesn't scream, I am authority, then I don't know what does. I mean, look at the pose in this moment. The director knew exactly how to convey authority, power, and fear into one scene. This is amazing. Good work. And then it's over. I love how Mozart ends this aria. He could have ended it with just a dramatic D minor chord, but instead he has a flurry of activity, a flurry of sounds, and then this big dramatic entrance. It reminds me of a witch just sort of vanishing on the spot, just turning into a puff of smoke. Perhaps the best moment in this aria is when she sings hört, 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 which means hear in German. I want us to listen back one more time and let's see what we can discover. Okay, the reason why I wanted to highlight this is because we might expect her to sing da, 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 just outlining that minor triad, but instead, Mozart got her to go to the flat sixth. So we have D, and then we have F, and then instead of A, we have B flat. In my opinion, it just adds so much texture and intrigue when we go to the B flat instead of the A. So instead of outlining the D minor chord, D, F, A, we have D, F, B flat, which adds so much emotion and fear. It's just like a terrifying moment in the aria. So while I love the high Fs, I think that flat six moment takes the cake for me. Well, after analyzing and listening to this piece, I'm convinced there's no greater intimidation aria in the operatic repertoire. If you disagree, let me know, because I don't think anything can beat this one. Thank you so much to Diana Damrau for your incredible performance of this, not only vocally, but the character work you've done on this is absolutely amazing. Thank you to the Royal Opera House, and thank you to you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And if you have any tangible evidence that Mozart wrote this aria for someone he didn't like, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to know. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.